Hey everyone, account update. It's been a while. It's been busy. I'm active on this channel every now and again. So anyway, I hope you liked the new, snorkeling GoPro videos that I posted up. That was from a recent family trip. I had a lot of fun playing with the GoPro cameras and the different mounts, and it's been several months ago, but I first tried out a GoPro camera just playing in some tide pools, and I thought the results were just amazing, how clear it was underwater. And I'm really speaking about the Hero 3. That was a lot of fun, and I was very excited about being able to go somewhere and do some snorkeling, playing in actual water, and doing this at lower depths using it. And it was great. I had a great time doing it. I think the results are I like them a lot. It's fun for me because it's a learning process at the same time. It's not as simple as turning on the GoPro camera, getting a case, figure out how you're going to hold or attach the camera, and going swimming. It's what's the best setting in the GoPro camera. It's how do you process the video post shoot as well. I've learned that a lot of people use filters on their GoPros to balance out the blue ocean color. There's kind of a red filter that's often added. People do a lot of, as with any kind of professional video, but they seem to do a decent amount on GoPro stuff. They do a lot of color grading. Color grading is just fancy for saying they're adjusting the color. If you're doing a larger video, a movie, whatever, you may have multiple video sources. You can't have one camera with X color balance and another camera with a different set of color balance. You want to make everything look seamless, tie it together, so you grade the video and make it look like it's shot with one camera. It's seamless, it's the same event. It basically eliminates distraction from viewers. So anyway, I learned a lot about that. I've been seeing some really awesome, cool videos that other people have on YouTube about freediving and using their GoPro underwater. There's some really neat things. So check those out. Like I said in my other videos, I didn't have too many problems with my GoPro camera while I was traveling. I didn't have any freeze-up issues. I did have the Wi-Fi issue that it turns on by itself, which it also turned on by itself just while I was speaking here. So that, now you can see the light. That's always a pain in the butt. You have to basically turn it on and go into the Wi-Fi, push the button, and shut it off. It's just something that's more of an annoyance. The images of the camera, the usage of the camera is still good. So just shut it off. What I didn't mention in some of my other videos about the cameras and the mounts is that you have to have a lot of discipline in using these things in the water and the waves. You can get distracted. You can lose these things. I had my camera attached to me, not necessarily the correct way, because I thought, whatever I thought, I could handle what I was doing, but wrong twice. This thing was knocked off me and lost in the ocean twice. The first time, it drifted up on the shore after a little bit of looking. It wasn't a huge deal. I had lost basically the snorkel mask that I was wearing. I got knocked over by a wave, and I was with some people, and I had to kind of needed to protect the people I was with versus focusing on my mask. So luckily that washed up. It was found. The second time it happened, I had it on the chest mount harness, locked on, and it's what I was typically doing so I don't look like a dork too much, is putting on it's attached to the chest mount, but just kind of wrap it over my shoulder, and once I get in the water, then kind of mount it up and put it on. I did that this last time, and I had it draped over my shoulder. It didn't feel like it was going to come off because it'd have to slide all the way up my arm. But I was carrying some other things, and some other things were occurring, and anyways, got hit by a decent sized wave. I had to protect something else, and one thing led to another, and of course the GoPro camera slid entirely off my arms and into the water, and I was just disappointed. I had my a battery pack attached to it. I had the memory card in, so it would have been a big financial loss at that point. And so I collected everything, got everyone into a safe area, and then went back to try to find it. And I spent probably 30 minutes snorkeling around, diving down, looking through the water, trying to find the thing with no luck. And then I kind of gave up and hacked. And about, let's say 5 to 10 minutes later, I see some people down on the beach pick up from their area the GoPro camera that I had just lost. So kind of a dubious situation. I was kind of snorkeling around, searching for something in front of them for 20, 30 minutes. And, could have said something, is this yours? I think they were just hoping I would go away, or they weren't linking 2 and 2 very well. But I ran over and said something, hey, thanks for finding my camera, that kind of stuff, with a little bit of hesitation on their part, but I got my camera back, luckily. And so I learned my lesson there. If you're going in the water with expensive things, lock it down. Don't carry more than you need. Focus on what you're doing. Do you really need your camera? But if you do, make sure it's clamped down. Okay, sorry about that. Minor disruption. So I was saying, focus on what you're doing, make sure your stuff's clamped down, and decide if you really need to bring your camera or not. That being said, I learned my lesson, a little panic mode there, but I had a lot of fun with this. It's fun going through all the different video settings, the slow motion stuff, then the big frame, 4K components to it. A lot of fun, and I look forward to doing it again next time. I don't know when that will be. But, so what I typically do, and this, I have to say, this one's kind of boring at this point, but I always like to do, when I'm near the ocean, I go on a trip, what's my EDC? What did I bring? And I'll have to say, this is exactly the same stuff I brought the last time I went. And it was this Spyderco sand in there. The Spyderco knife. Someone's gonna have to correct me. It's the Salt series knife. This Spyderco H1 steel. Anyways, it's a black. It looks like an Endura basically, and you can see I'm not as up to date on my knives anymore, but I've had this one for several years. I've traveled a lot with it. It's been in the water several times, salt water. And other than just getting a lot of sand in it, it's absolutely a great knife. I think it's the Pacific Salt. But yeah, I just need to wash it out with some fresh water more, get the sand out, maybe use a blower. It's still sharp. I think I carried it a couple times in the water, just when I was going a little further out, but the centering on the blade still is awesome. Other than the cleanup issue, it's fine. There's no blade wobble at all. The handle is still functional, it's secure, a little bit of pocket clip wear. It's a great knife. All the steel or the metal push pin, I guess press pins, or you call them, are in there just fine. This is a knife that I've spoken about several times, that the steel, it's H1, it's rust resistant. It's a soft steel. I have one person that has different experience than I do that has posted on these videos before, but my experience is that it is soft. The steel will damage easy, but it's very sharp. If you're familiar with AUS 8 steel, I would say this is slightly more durable than that, but you'll know that type of steel can get extremely sharp, and it's easy to sharpen, but it will fold and flatten and damage relatively easy. That's not a bad thing. It's just a characteristic of this steel. The only thing really noticeable with this knife, other than the dirt and the sand and all that stuff, is just the blade. The black on the blade's just fading a little bit. So I brought that. I brought a juice, Leatherman juice. I didn't have to use that at all. And I also brought a little Swiss Army knife. I should have found that before I started, but a little Swiss Army knife that I did use a little bit for that kind of stuff. I now always carry kind of first aid kits when I travel. I actually had 2 of them this time. But there's always someone, I typically go with a number of other people, and there's always someone that gets hurt, minor injuries, and it's often bee stings or scrapes or things like that. And I recommend it, if you're going with a group of people, your family, get one of these cheap kits that has band-aids and different medicine in here. It's worth it. Take it to the beach with you, take it hiking with you, that kind of stuff. I put all this stuff in my check luggage. Of course you have to put the knives and all that stuff in your check luggage, but just throw it all in, stick it in a shoe or something in your check luggage, and you'll never have a problem with it. And be reasonable with the knives, right? I mean, don't bring weapons. Bring normal pocket knives, utility type knives. Don't bring something that's expensive. Don't bring your Sabenza, that kind of stuff. Just bring something that is going to be a good utility for you, and it will. You won't be too upset if you do lose it. And the Swiss Army knives are great for that. Just a normal camper type knife is fine. Most often you just end up using it opening food packages and opening bottles of wine. Just kidding. So general knife videos, I mean, half my channel is at least about knife stuff, if not more. I haven't really bought any new ones other than this Microtech SOCOM Delta. It's still pretty nice. I've been kind of rolling back to some older knives lately. I've been carrying just a Benchmade mini Griptilian. I think for some reason I just really gravitate to that knife. And I'm sorry, I should have showed you on my EDC. I did bring my standard Phoenix PD20. So that I bring carry-on. I'm carrying the 940 today, and I have really carried this one a lot lately, the mini Griptilian. This is a one that it's the Doug Ritter CPM M4 version. You can go back and look at one of my videos about it. But I got the Edge Pro, and I was able to sharpen this thing up really good. I was disappointed. I think the looks of the knife, the belly, how it feels, it's way better than the standard Griptilian. I actually don't like the regular size griptilian. But the mini griptilian, something about the balance of it, it's one of my favorite knives of all time. I mean, that's something to say, right? As you know, I do have some more expensive knives, but I really like the mini griptilian. Anyway, so I sharpened it up. I still have some point problems, but I'm working on it. It's going away. When I first got the knife, it was just a dull, blunt point. I was very disappointed by that. So that's what's going on in knife world with me. I'm not looking to buy anything major. I have seen some very nice quasi-custom knives lately, but so that's it really with the knife stuff. Tech-wise, kind of gave you photography, gave you EDC. The photography stuff, it's all GoPro lately. I will say after, it's very nice to be able to, mobile technology is great with your camera now, being able to use your camera anywhere when you're traveling and getting those GPS coordinates and being able to share it. Everyone knows about this, but it's really nice. It makes you really think about, do I really need to bring this big DSLR camera with me? Truck it around. It's big, it's heavy, it's expensive. You got to watch out for it. Don't want to lose it. Don't want to get it stolen. But when you do, and you use it and take pictures and you look at the pictures, it's still far and above anything you're going to get out of a mobile phone, any pocket camera. Your DSLR with a good lens is grossly better than any of those technologies. So it is worth it when you lug it around and use it, if you value quality photos. If you just want to capture an image, remember, the meal you've eaten or something, document life quickly, then your phone camera is probably good. But if you want something that's you're going to hang up on a wall or something with your family, the DSLR is the way to go. Tech-wise, I'm kind of, as you know, an Apple fan. I'm just waiting around for something to happen, iPad and MacBook Pro. Kind of disappointed they didn't launch the new Haswell MacBook Pros with Retina displays already this year. This video is done in July 2012. Haven't launched those yet. This GoPro video, I shot a lot. I shot a lot of video when I was on my vacation. And my MacBook Pro I had, 2010 model, it really has struggled to keep up. I would basically do, let's say, a 2.7K, 4K video. And if you make some changes, you build out a project, you do some rendering, you tag some things, it will crunch. It will crunch for almost a full day. It is not keeping up with the size of video files at this point. So looking for a new MacBook Pro eventually. Really needing a new iPad. Love the iPads. I've noticed that when you use the majority of your storage, when you're down, if you have, let's say, 64 gig and you have less than 5 gig left, the iPad really doesn't perform well. It really kind of is crappy performance. That's what I'm experiencing now. So you really have to make sure that you have a reasonable amount of room left on it. Otherwise, you'll run into performance issues. So that's what's going on with me. Maybe I'll do some more videos about some of these subjects. If you're, want to see something or hear something more, as always, let me know. Still a fun thing contributing to the YouTube community. Thanks for all the subscribers, watching the videos. A lot of fun comments lately.